guys, I'm Sabrina from The Power Within Us, and we are here today with a very special guest, Tim.
Hiya.
And we are just about to ask him a few questions. So Tim, would you please tell everyone what do you do and what technologies you work with?
Hello everyone. Yeah, I'm Tim Wild, and I'm an Ascension expert, which means I am assisting whoever is drawn to the information that I'm putting out into the universe at the moment to assist on the Ascension pathway, which is very much occurring on this planet here and now. We're moving from a third dimensional vibration, which we've been existing in for the last 10,000 years, very rapidly into a fifth dimensional one, and I have a very good idea on how to help people kind of achieve the maximum potential from their light body and their chakras in a short space of time. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. That is my current field of expertise.
Okay. And how did that happen? How did you become that? How did you get into that kind of path? You know.
You go sort of reverse, sort of like 43 years. I was born awake, basically.
Okay.
Which made life as a child very difficult. I didn't have a nice time as a child, particularly, and a lot of other people who you speak to who have had similar experiences have also struggled with, because back in 1972 when I was born, it was like the earth was still had this dense environment, the dense third dimensional structure with the heavy energy and the collective consciousness. So growing up within that, I had to learn how to be very versatile, deal with energies that conflicted with my own fields, and by the time I was 17 or 18, I've been having dreams all my childhood about waves and nuclear explosions.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, basically the reflection of the fall of Atlantis. This is all a cellular memory. So, you know, I didn't really know what all this was about at the time. It's all just like, well, you know, it's just one of those things that keeps on reoccurring all the time. And I used to see spirits and hear my angels talking to me. And of course, it's not the sort of thing back in those days where you could go, oh, I've just heard my angel speaking to me. You keep it to yourself, kept it under wraps. Now, when I was about 18 years old, 1990, I had an accident, quite a serious one. I used to be a road racer, a cyclist, and I rode into a tractor at 35 mile an hour and gave myself a fairly severe head injury, was unconscious for half an hour, rode down the tunnel of light, came back again, and when I came back things were very, very different. I just felt very different. There was some kind of waking up process had gone on during that, and I became vegetarian very shortly afterwards and went into that kind of mode that is described as the seeking mode, where you start seeking out answers and who am I and why am I feeling so different and out of kilter with everything like that. So I started reading people's books. I got very rapidly acquainted with someone called Joshua David Stone, who is an American chap who's written a lot of Ascension work prior to 2012. And at the same kind of time, I got I discovered Diana Cooper. And lo and behold, her first book that I picked up and I was attracted to was called The Little Light on Angels. Now, the thing that I always found so amazing about Diana is that she stood up in a time where the subject was fairly taboo, stood on a platform and started talking about angels. Now, that took guts. You know, as far as I'm concerned, she broke the bow of that, the spiritual movement. She was the path, you know, the path maker. She went out there and illuminated everybody and said, this is what is going on in the world around you. You have angels, you have guides, you have unicorns, you have dragons, and all of this was all coming out, and people just were drawn to it. So, and you know, the years went on, and in 2003 I met Diana personally at a book signing in Bournemouth, and I was the last in the queue. And she's like, can you sign my Discover Atlantis book, please? I think you're wonderful. So one of those. And so she signed my book and we started talking. And I ran a gardening business at the time. And she needed a gardener and happened to live 3 miles down the road from me. So that was that, really.
Great.
And we started getting very friendly. We had similar interests. Obviously, I'm spiritual, she's spiritual. I loved her work and was bringing through my own information, and in 2008 I had a massive life change and wound up living back at my mother's. And in that period of time, this period of time when I was spending a lot of time on my own, reflecting and meditating, I received a morning visitation from Archangel Michael, who I used to speak to
Oh
an
wow.
awful lot at this time, as well, leaning on him very heavily for protection and assistance. And he said to me one morning, Tim, you no longer need to call on me for assistance and protection anymore. I'm going to give you something back that you had in your lifetime in Atlantis. Here is the blue star seal, which is a form of protection which is activated within the soul star.
Yeah.
Surrounds you with a blue light which keeps your energy fields fifth dimensional. Oh, that's interesting. So this is what I was involved with my past lives, and went to Diana and told her this, and she said, yes, you were a high priest in Atlantis. And not going to tell who you were, but you've got to kind of go off on your own journey of self-discovery and come back with your own answers. So I did. And that's when it all kicked off. So since 2008, up to the now moment in time, I've been working with her constantly. And in 2013, we both decided to get our heads together under the careful prompting of Archangel Metatron, and wrote the Archangel Guide to Ascension, which is kind of what leads us to this conversation, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of my history, divided into very kind of set and not terribly, elaborate detail, but that's how I've got here.
Yeah, well, that's very interesting. So what would you, I know that you work with a lot of crystals and activating crystals. How does that work? I mean, how...
Crystals have been a part of our heritage since we had physical life on this planet 260,000 years ago. The Lemurians activated, lots of barking, the Lemurians activated all the crystals that we have here, crystal skulls, the simple crystals that people have in their homes, and they put their energy and their knowledge into the crystal beds that are being mined now, over 260,000 years ago. So all of the crystal that we're harvesting now has got information in it, it's got old technology, it's got vibrations, and many other things as well. And this is what we're now using to tune into. And they, the spectrum that crystals are used for is absolutely vast. In Atlantis, crystal technology powered the whole of the continent. They would use light coming in from the sun to refract through giant crystal pyramids, which were actually suspended gravitationally in the air. And this would then provide electricity, heat and light to the whole of the continent. And they would also use crystal skulls such as these as computers. Because a skull like this can hold something like 36 terabytes of information can be contained within a skull like this, so you can use it to download information, meditations, just keep them as almost like an etheric diary as such. And they're amazing.
Wow.
We're going to be going, when we move into the next phase of this ascension process, the crystal technology that we were using at Atlantis is now going to be coming back. And we will be using them every day, pretty much like,
Amazing.
Me sat here up here with my skulls and everything. This will be, hopefully become a lot more normal.
Okay, yeah. It's very, very interesting. One thing that we always ask our guests is about the Ascension movement. I mean, obviously you've written about it with Diana, so it would be great for you to tell us a bit more about how is that happening. So is now the time, or when is it gonna all kick off? I know Diana...
It's all kicking off as we speak. On 2012, as your listeners will probably know, there was the cosmic moment. 21st of December 2012 marked a complete planetary change in the vibration, the matrix of the planet. The third dimensional vibration that's existed here for 10,000 years changed overnight. And when it did so, everybody who lives on the planet, not just the spiritual people like us, I mean we're talking about absolutely everybody on the planet, went into a state of upgrade where the 12 chakra system, which has been redundant since the fall of Atlantis, became active again.
Okay.
And their light bodies around them expanded. Now, the only difference between us sat here talking about it and the people that haven't actually activated this yet is awareness. I mean, all it would take is somebody to know what is going on with their body and what's going on with the planet around them, for them to start actualising this energy. We're very, very, very close to it.
Okay.
Because we've got 18 years now between the point that we're having this conversation to, I think it's something like 2032, before the actual planet moves fully into the fifth dimension.
Okay.
Now, on the great grand scheme of things, that's a very, very short period of time.
Yeah.
We've got a very short period of time to get everybody. There's 7 billion people on this planet, and everybody has got to get up to speed to be passing into this matrix. You cannot pass into the new vibration with the, I'm trying to think of the right words, the kind of the attitudes, the densities and the separations that have been existing on this planet recently, like all the things that you see around us that are not right, like, you know, poverty and wealth, and, you know, rich and poor, and politics, and just people acting in a manner that reflects disconnection from source. All of this is going to change, and it's going to change rapidly as well. And I see it happening gently, if you know what I mean. It's not going to be like we're going to have tsunamis and earthquakes and millions of people dying. It's going to be illumination of consciousness from the heart, so people are going to wake up consciously from the heart, realising who they are and what they're actually really doing here, and things will change from the inside gently. And this is what I predict, and this is what I'm hoping for and holding the vision for reality.
Yeah,
so,
amazing.
It's very much happening around us now at the moment.
Great. I have one more question for you, which I love asking because it really allows everyone to know how your experience was working in this path. And basically is, if you could share with us what was the most amazing or the darkest experience you have had in your path, and if you like to share with us something, you know.
I think the most amazing part about it was is actually realising who I was. It took 4 years to process, kind of finding out that I was this, you know, I have been on this planet many times before, and every time I've been here, I've been doing something very similar to the job that I'm doing now. The information I've been through is familiar. It's stuff I've worked with before, and just that kind of that I can't really explain it. That kind of state of like almost dazed delirium that you go into when you're like, oh right, okay, well everything that I've kind of been thinking about myself on a subconscious level is actually true. You know, a lot of what limits people on the spiritual pathway is, I call it little me syndrome. It's where they think that they can't actually accept their master reality about themselves because they think it's egoic. When in actual fact it isn't. We're all ascended masters. We're all 7 billion of us on this planet are as capable of achieving a state of mastery and full power. As an ex-person, it doesn't make me any better or any different from what I'm doing. Everybody else on the planet is just separated by their state of current awareness. That's the only thing. So yeah, it's going to be, you know, that it's the point where I kind of realised that I'm doing what I enjoy doing the most, and it was happy days, not dark days.
Great.
Yeah. Loved
amazing, amazing. And just another little question. I know you do a lot of workshops, so I would like you to tell a bit more about your workshop, so whoever is watching can come and contact you. And
all right. Well, my workshops primarily at the moment consist of Atlantis and the energy that and the energy that we kind of the first workshop I did was with my friend Mark Lepus in Glastonbury, and that was called Raising the Light of Golden Atlantis. Now when we got that together, we kind of had 40 people, 50 people in the room. I kind of went in there not really knowing what I was doing. I mean, I was still working on the book with Diana at the time, and just kind of went in there armed with a few meditations and stuff that I'd bought, information I bought personally through about Atlantis myself. By the end of the morning, everyone's like kind of like,
oh god,
you know, like downloading, fried, crying, and bringing stuff up from like the last 10,000 years. And then in the afternoon, my friend Mark took over and kind of healed it with his knowledge and his energy. So a lot of it is about bringing back our heritage from Atlantis, our knowledge, and I'm running courses and series on this at the moment, either via Skype or via my website timwild.com, and by running regular workshops in Glastonbury, but also what is very prominent and very important is the work that I'm doing with Diana at the moment. Diana and I have written the Archangel Guide to Ascension, which has gone out globally and has been a massive success. And there will be a book too coming
Brilliant.
next year called the Archangel Guide to Mastery. And that is going to be kind of the next phase of the operation, really. So there's different things going, but it is all based around the ascension process, getting people to move into their new kind of roles in their bodies and their light and their self-actualization as fast as possible, and also to kind of remember where we've come from and stop and give ourselves a pat on the back occasionally, because it's been, pardon my French, a bloody long hard slog, isn't it, really? So it's early doors yet. There's just going to be so much going on in the next 5 years or so. I don't really know where to begin with it and sum it all up in a short space of time, really.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.